Hello, this is Charles Fockaert. On October 28, 2017, I want to welcome all of you. Thank you for supporting this channel. This is number 7 in the series of On the Road with Charles Fockaert as I travel from Montana to hopefully Arizona. And I'm here in Pocatello, Idaho. Been here for a couple weeks now. In fact, exactly 2 weeks today. I've been going through the problems I've been having, and I wanted to say that I got back here to my mechanic house, Brian's house, and I didn't see him all morning yesterday, and about 11:30 he comes out of the house after I sent him a text, asked him if he had a compression gauge that I could check the compression of the engine. And he didn't answer me, so I ran down to AutoZone and I borrowed one from there, and I did a compression check. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee here, and some of you people think I'm a drunk, and I tell you I don't start drinking till 8 a.m. and 7:46, so I got 14 minutes. But I don't want to go into it too much. It's as I mentioned in the previous video, I was concerned that the torque on the gasket wasn't correct. So Brian did a retorque and I did a compression check, and the compression was even all the way across the passenger side head. I didn't check the left side because I don't think I'm having a problem, and it's very difficult to get to. So I waited. I left the valve cover off, and I waited for Brian. He came out, and then an hour later, or 2 hours later, him and his wife had a knockdown drag out here. They were yelling at each other, and she said the exact same thing to him that I've been saying. He doesn't listen. She said, you are never wrong. You don't listen. And when I ask you a simple question, you can't answer. So I've been confirmed. That's my second witness. He's exactly what I said he was. He doesn't listen. He knows it all. Enough with him. I left the valve cover off so he could adjust the rocker arms one more time. There's a little tick at the number 2 cylinder. He disagreed. He said it was number 6. I took my hose, and it's number 2 cylinder. But hey, he never came back last night. About 4 o'clock, I put the valve cover back on, tightened everything up. I think I'm okay. I don't think there's going to be a problem. And I wanted to respond to a new poster here, and let's go have a look at his comment, which I really appreciate. I appreciate thoughtful comments, and remind me about Ian Smith's comment that he made yesterday, and I hope I don't forget that. But let's go have a look at this comment. And this is Tom M., and he did this last night while I was sleeping, and I had a good night's sleep last night, first in quite a while. He tells me something that I was interested to know. Brakes will work only once. Don't take your foot off. So thank you, my man, for the tip. If we get the money, having a demand electric pump put in. Here's where I need to explain things. Number one, I'm suggesting you don't start in the middle of the series and watch the videos. And I'm not being critical, Tom, but there's a lot you didn't catch on to here. But I want to continue here. Also get a transcooler. Yes, the transmission has a cooler. And then as for the head job, the torque has to be right, and also to tighten the bolts in the proper sequence. Yes, I know that. Yes, a good idea to retorque after some miles. I will retorque when I get to Arizona. We use the same bolts. Yes, we know bolts stretch over time, but that wasn't the problem. We just used the stock head gasket. We also have a good idea to have AAA RV coverage, and I agree 100%. I've been looking. I should have bought it when I was up in Montana. I didn't, because I'm short on funds, folks. I'm working with limited funds. I mentioned in the other videos what's going on with my funds, but I'm not going to go into that. Um, uh, it's already done. I don't need to get moved. Doing one side of the engine can also cause problems. I was going to do both sides until I got here and I realized the situation with Ryan. And thank God I didn't do both sides, because who knows how long I would have been here, okay? And maybe I would have had the problem with the inadequate torque on both sides. Then I would have had an extra special problem. Number two, this is an old RV, and like you say, I don't want to put a lot of money into it. So here's where, and you mentioned I should have a bigger truck, that you don't like motorized RVs. Well, neither do I. Back before the federal bankruptcy judge, Alan Jaroslavsky, and put the parentheses around his name, took away all of my assets. I had a XLT Ford F-250 with a diesel with a turbo on it, and I bought a brand new Road Ranger trailer, 24-foot, for me and my family to enjoy the outdoors with. And I ended up having to live in that trailer, and I absolutely hated it when I had to live in it during my divorce. But now it's a whole different story. Number one, the reason I don't have a bigger truck is because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford the gas. I couldn't afford the upkeep on a bigger truck. So I bought a Toyota when I first got to Montana back, just to kind of get used to being back in the States again and having a truck. I didn't want to buy a brand new one. I bought a 1986 Toyota pickup. It's in the pictures. And it's a good thing I did, because when I got sued, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, and I'm going to explain it right now, and that's why it's so important to live under the rule of law. I got falsely accused, and I've gone over this many, many times, and I defended myself, and she won. She got a judgment against me for $175,000 plus interest, which is accruing, I believe, at $45 or $50 a day. You're only exempt from a judgment for a vehicle worth $2,500 or less. So if I would have bought a bigger truck and a more expensive truck, she would have been able to come and take my truck from me, and I would end up with zero. So now I'm taking a chance here, because I'm only allowed one vehicle. And by the way, $50 a day interest, and I actually got her to admit in the court of law while she was on the stand that she offered me this money that she provided me, and she trusted me. She knew who I was because she lived with our family while she went to school in California. She lived at my house rent-free for 8 months in our spare bedroom. I never asked her for any money, for utilities, nothing. And she knew me very well because she was in the same Christian assembly that I was in, and that's why she knew she could trust me. And then when I wasn't going to become her companion, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Long story short, I can't own anything because she can come and take it away from me. So that's why I'm driving a vehicle that's not worth her going after. This thing isn't worth her paying the cost it's going to come to take it away from me. And if I do lose it, I'm not losing very much, okay? You understand now? I am working with limited funds every month. My income, my Social Security check, they give you back every month, little by little, hoping you die first, so they don't have to give your money back to you. I wish they'd just give me all my money in lump sum. I'd go buy a new vehicle. And anyway, so I'm working on very, very, very limited funds, and that's part of the stress of all this. And Yes, the vehicle can be a bloodsucker, but this engine only has 65,000 miles on it, and if you watch the other videos, you'll know why I had to fix it. And yes, I understand fixing only one side of the engine can cause problems, but I think I made the right choice by only doing the one side. The engine runs fine. It seems to be okay now. And you mentioned here, I think you're better off with a lightweight trailer. Yeah, I agree, but then I need a heavyweight truck to pull it. So if you people want to, you know, maybe that's in the future. But right now, this is what I got. Be content with what I have. And that's what I'm trying to do. I do appreciate your comments. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just trying to respond. Some of you people get butt hurt when I mention something and I don't agree with you. And I want to talk about this guy, Ian Smith. And I don't think I have his Ian Smith. Got all butthurt yesterday because he was the one that asked me why is the sky dark at night? And I said, because there's no sun. And I just answered his question. I did not remove his comment. His comments are pre-approved, and he got all butthurt, and his real character came out. And I wish now I hadn't removed his comment. You get to the point where you just, I don't have time for you, buddy. If you get butthurt over a little thing like, people tell me all the time they don't agree with me. I don't break our fellowship with them just because we don't agree. And even when people act like jerks, look at this guy, Brian. He's been a real a-hole to me for 2 weeks, a week and a half, and I am still friends with him. He actually told me, he says, I'm going to hate work. I'm not going to miss working on your vehicle, but I'm going to miss communicate, or I forget the word he used. He basically said, I'm going to miss being around you. Okay? Hey, it takes quite a bit to get me upset. Be a liar or a thief or something like that. Yes. Then I don't have time for you. But this guy, Ian Smith, got all butthurt, and then he said, I hope your damn junk RV you crash and burns. Okay? So that's what kind of person this guy, Ian Smith, is. And let me pause it here, and I'll think about what I want to talk about next. I would prefer to drive a truck and haul a trailer. That would be my preference, and that's what I've done before. My first trailer was an Aljo, a 1967 Aljo, which we got from the father-in-law. My second trailer was, like I mentioned, was a 1994 Road Ranger, which I had to sell during my divorce. So if shit didn't happen, I'd have a good truck, and I'd have a trailer that I could tow, because it's easier to drive a truck than it is this RV. I get it. So this RV may be the end of me. I don't know yet. And, I've had thoughts here. Well, why don't I just, if it was spring, I would probably put this thing up for sale, and I don't know what I would do because I can't, excuse me again, the coffee. I can't afford it, folks. This is the Esau Edomite world that I'm in. And I'm not going to go through it. I'm not asking you to have pity on me. I'm just warning you. Every single one of you are going to be in the same position I am, because this entire economy is going to collapse. It's a house of cards, and it's coming down. They're holding it together right now with bubble gum and matched and Band-Aids. And when it all collapses, I'm going to be already where the rest of you are going to end up. Now, I may be totally wrong in this, and they may be able to keep this going for until I'm not here anymore. So, I don't know, okay? So here's this guy here, and he says, when I said maybe I'm too old for this, you look fit. I am fit. I climbed a 65, I climbed Mount Moose about a month and a half ago, on a hot day. I made it all the way to the top. 2-3 days later, I went up the other side of the mountain, on the opposite side where the spring was. It's in my video about just being. I'm in good shape, but there's more to it than just that. It's my perception and my I can't get up now on heights like I used to when I used to build. I could walk on the rafters, folks, on the ridge beam. Okay, it's not the same, and I'm in good shape. I do exercise. I haven't been lately because I've been having all of these problems, which has taken up 10 hours of my day. Okay, so that takes care of that. This fellow Matthew Thomas again is wants me to be buddy with Bro Nathaniel, and I'm telling you, I got over 30 videos, and I think I know more about Brother Nathaniel than most people. I've looked at his Form 990, and I'm telling you, I think this guy Kapner is committing fraud with his 501c3, but I'm not going to go into that, and I have no desire to sit down with Kapner and have a face-to-face, okay? He's not what he appears to be. He's a racial Jew, and if you don't understand what that means, I can't help you. You don't get it. Two seed line. I believe that the Bible teaches two seed line. There's two seed lines. Nakash, Cain, Esau, Edomite seed line, and the Israelites, the Caucasian race. And we're in a war right now. And right now the Caucasian race is losing because most people don't get it. Barry White, I want to thank you for praying for me. I thank you for all of you that are praying for me. And I got a call last night from my buddy Wayne up in Saskatchewan. I haven't seen Wayne since we were in Korea. Wayne, if you watch this, I want to thank you for your call. It was good to talk to you. And I want to thank my buddy Ryan in Edmonton, who knows Wayne and called him and told him what's going on. I appreciate your support. I want to go down here to Tall Oak. I did watch this video, and I want to thank you for it. I had seen the seal quite a while ago, but not in this video. I like the good comments, and you know what? I think I'm one of the few YouTube video guys out there that actually respond to the comments. So hey, for you critics, you know, if you don't have a good word to say, why don't you not say anything? I've always had, if you don't have anything good to say about someone, then why don't you not say anything at all? Or if you don't have a good thing to say about someone, maybe you're not thinking about it enough. I'm not asking you to kiss my butt. I'm not asking you to ignore my faults or my error. If I'm in wrong somewhere or something you don't like, just put your facts down, put your evidence down, and let's have a civil conversation, unlike this guy Ian Smith, who got all butthurt because I made a comment on his video, on his comment, and I didn't remove his comment. See, it's still there, but I unchecked him. Now he's got to get approval, and I think he unsubbed me. Okay, as you can see, yesterday I was able to take some time and get cleaned up. I shaved a little bit, I trimmed my beard and washed. I took a nice warm shower. You don't really take a hot shower here, but I don't really need a hot shower, and I only have 6-gallon tank. So what I do is I go out there, I turn the heater on, propane. It heats the tank up. When I hear it turn off, I shut the gas down to save the gas, go in and take a shower. It was fairly warm yesterday afternoon, comparatively speaking. The time I got out of the shower it was cold, but I got my shower done. Haven't had one in a couple of days, so I feel refreshed. I'm going to head out here this morning. I have a lot more I want to comment on. I've got 9 or 10 items I want to comment on, the observations I've made while I've been in Pocatello. That'll have to wait. I want to thank all of you for supporting this channel. I want to thank Lawrence in Australia. I want to thank Lauren down there in Utah. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to you because I'm stressed just about driving through the congestion in Salt Lake City. Okay? I have arthritis in my neck and my shoulders, and it's hard for me to turn and look at the mirrors while I'm driving in those highly congested areas, and that's what I'm talking about. And yeah, you know what? Maybe I could ask you this. Maybe you would pray that Yahweh would supply me with a truck and a trailer, because that would be my preference. I could park the trailer, and I could drive away with the truck. That's my preference. That's what I had before. I don't have that right now. And like I mentioned, I couldn't afford, and I can't afford a bigger vehicle. Now, I'm going to tell you this because I had a fella who I thought was a buddy. I'm going to use his initials, WW. When I bought this RV, I wanted to form an LLC and I wanted to put this in someone else's name. And he had supported this channel, so I said, well, I'd like to put this RV in your name, in our name, so if something happens to me, you have an RV and you can sell it. And he came up with the idea of an LLC. I had that idea, but I couldn't afford to go through all the trouble and do an LLC. But then he come back and said, well, that involves paperwork, and he didn't want to get involved, and I haven't heard from him since. So that's the kind of support that I don't need, folks. And I don't know what happened. I didn't think I offended him. I have to live somewhere. I'm living in a 40-year-old RV. I mean, is that too much? Am I supposed to live in a cardboard box somewhere? And I would love to be somewhere where I'm sitting down. So I have a bunch of books, and I have a lot of things I'd like to do. I'd like to write another book, but this middle finger here, it locks up. And there's something wrong here, right down through here. And if I go to a doctor, he's going to want to do surgery, and I don't want surgery. So I can't even. And the reason I got this problem in my fingers is because I spent 3.5 years in that lawsuit, and I had to type hundreds of pages of briefs and other court documents. And my fingers were like this for hours at a time. And that's when this happened. It's carpal tunnel or whatever, some variation of it. So that lawsuit effed me up. And that bitch, I don't wish ill on anyone, but that bitch lost $50,000, and she effed up my life, because now all the time I could have been spending on my other business endeavors, including Rocket Mountain Rocket Stoves. Somebody wants a good business, I have Rocky Mountain Rocket Stoves. You can have it. The website, everything. I tried to sell it. I didn't have time. And Montana's a limited market. I can only do so much at a time, and I'm doing the best I can. I thank you for your support. I thank you for your prayers. I ask you to pray. Maybe the Lord will improve my living situation. I'm not complaining. I'm content with this, but it is difficult, folks. I'm just being honest. I mean, what do you want me to do? May the grace of God, our Father Yahweh, on a level plane, He created a level plane. The moon and the sun move on top of the earth. And that video, I really recommend that video. And let's go have a look at it. I'll give you the link one more time. Here's the link right here, folks. And I recommend that video. Thank you, Tall Oak. Folks, I came out publicly in May 2015, 2.5 years ago, as a flat earther. And I was right. We live on a level plane earth. And I want to thank you once again. And may the grace of God our Father, may His grace be upon us all, for we certainly need it. See ya.